There are lots of places around the North Country where you can kind of slip back in time by visiting the ruins of an old mine. The popular Upper Works trailhead to the high peaks used to be an iron ore mine. You got the Benson mine near Star Lake, talc mines near Gouverneur. Mining used to be a pillar of the North Country economy. The Garnet mine in North Creek is still plugging along, but most are gone. What used to be a zinc mine in St. Lawrence County is experiencing a revival with a different, highly coveted substance. Digging for graphite on today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from the Wild Center in Tupper Lake, dedicated to strengthening visitors' connections to the natural world. More at wildcenter.org.
Hey, I'm David Summerstein. It's Monday, September 15th. First up, a manhunt is underway in the Adirondacks for a person allegedly involved in a homicide in the Albany area. 41-year-old Amanda Rodriguez was found dead at her home in Cohoes on Sunday. She lived there with her boyfriend, 53-year-old Anthony Beechan, who police say is the main suspect in the case. According to police, Beechan's truck was seen at their home around the time of Rodriguez's death. After her death was reported, Beechan's truck was found abandoned about 150 miles north near Paul Smith's in the Adirondacks. Cohoes Police Chief Todd Walden says forest rangers and Border Patrol agents are working with state police to find Beechan.
His truck was just left there in that area. They're searching that whole area. If you're not familiar with it, it is a pretty wooded, outdoors type of terrain there, and they're doing the best that they can to find where he may be.
Beechan is white with brown hair and brown eyes. He wears about 180 pounds and is about 5'11". Walden says folks in the area of Franklin County near Paul Smith's should be alert, and no one should approach Beechan if they see him.
Under an abundance of caution, consider this person to potentially be armed and dangerous and to be somebody that we definitely need to speak to about what took place.
Anyone who has seen Anthony Beechan or has information about his whereabouts is urged to contact the New York State Police at 518-897-2000. A special election to fill former Assemblyman Billy Jones's seat will coincide with the November 4th general election. Jones, who served almost 9 years in the Assembly, resigned earlier this month to take a vice president position at Clinton Community College. During his tenure, he was the only Democrat to represent the North Country in the state legislature. Governor Kathy Hochul announced the timing of the special election with a proclamation this afternoon. The winner of the race will serve the remaining year of Jones's unexpired term. The 115th Assembly District covers all of Clinton and Franklin counties and 5 towns in Essex County. The special election candidates will be selected by the party committee chairs of those counties. Democrats have already named Plattsburgh Town Supervisor Michael Cashman as their presumptive nominee earlier this month. On the Republican side, retired State Police Troop B Commander Brent Davidson has the support of the Clinton County GOP chair. The chairs of the Essex and Franklin County Republican committees have yet to make any formal endorsements. The Adirondack Park Agency approved a new solar farm in Clinton County last week. The project spurred a debate over land use in the Adirondacks. Emily Russell reports.
The new 5-megawatt solar farm would be located in the Champlain Valley. Devin Korn from the Adirondack Park Agency presented the project to the board last week, including satellite photos of the area.
You can see the Ausable River pretty clearly here, and this is the Ausable Chasm up in here.
The site is about a mile from downtown Keysville and even closer to the elementary school. The central location was the focus of a few public comments opposing the project. The town supervisor told the Sun Community News that it was, quote, one of our last prime residential locations. APA board member Zoe Smith questioned Korn about that concern. Korn responded by saying that some of the property could still be developed for other purposes.
Although 30 acres of that area are to be converted and use, the remaining area outside of that project area could potentially provide some other type of use, including residential development or commercial or whatever.
A portion of the property was logged about 15 years ago. APA board member Art Lucy took issue with this detail. He feared that approving the project would encourage other landowners to log their properties, making them viable as future solar farm sites.
I can't support this project because of that fact that It's setting a precedent.
The APA's John Berth responded to Lucy's concern, saying the site's logging history wouldn't change the agency's review of the project.
If it had not been logged, we would do the same analysis and we would see where we're at. So I wouldn't, from a staff's point of view, I don't know that, we would say, it still potentially could be, a situation where we're recommending approval. It would depend on.
Ultimately, the APA staff did recommend that the board approve the project. Art Lucy voted against it, while the rest of the board voted in favor. It's the 13th solar farm that the APA has approved in the Adirondacks over the last 5 years. All but 2 of those projects have been in the Champlain Valley. Emily Russell, North Country Public Radio, Raybrook.
A mine in St. Lawrence County will begin graphite production in the next few weeks. As Catherine Wheeler reports, it's the only place in the country currently pulling the critical mineral out of the ground.
Winding through walkways, lots of machinery, and even more dust, North Country elected officials celebrated a new venture for a mine in Fowler near Gouverneur last week. Nearly 100 years ago, miners started digging up zinc here. It's had its troubles. Over the decades, the mine has closed and changed hands. And then a handful of years ago, it reopened for production. Empire State Mine's Vice President of Operations, Joel Rowe, says back in 2022, while they were looking for more zinc, one of their exploration managers discovered something new: graphite.
When he started looking at this, he thought, there might be something here. And that's pretty much how most mines are discovered. And in this case, quite by accident, we found a magnificent little graphite deposit.
That little deposit is an area about 8,000 feet long and at least 500 feet deep, likely even more. It's about 22 million tons of material. Rowe says only 3% of that is graphite. That might sound small, but Titan Mining president and CEO Rita Adiani says it's a big deal.
The United States consumes between 70 to 80,000 metric tons of graphite. We'll be producing 40,000.
That means the U.S. could have more control over where it gets the critical mineral. China controls about 77% of natural graphite in the world. Graphite is used in a lot of tech. Lithium-ion batteries are about 50% graphite. It's in phones, computers, and electric vehicle batteries. North Country Congresswoman Elise Stefanik toured the facility last Friday. She says that's why it's important to invest in it.
To have that right here in St. Lawrence County, the only graphite mine in America, that is a huge opportunity for national security purposes and continued economic growth right here.
It costs about $4.5 million to get this up and running. That includes money from the mine owner, Titan Mining, along with the St. Lawrence County Industrial Development Agency and the Development Authority of the North Country. The mine found the graphite in 2022, and in about 2 weeks it will start processing it. Adiani says that's a quick turnaround, and the only reason that's possible is because of the mine's workforce.
We believe we have the core skill set here. What we need to do is bring in more people so that either we can train them or effectively be able to bring in skilled workforce.
Adiani says Titan wants this project to grow sustainably. She says the mine employs about 150 people now, and if all goes to plan, they want to double it.
We're not here for a year or 2 years. We're here for a minimum of 15 to 20 years. So if you come in young, we will train you. You want to work hard, you will have a career with Empire State Mines.
But Adiani says the growth will need to be slow and careful. After all, the success of mines and the economic environments they live in are never guaranteed. Catherine Wheeler, North Country Public Radio in Fowler.
Quick reminder, if you're listening to Story of the Day on the radio, that is super awesome. But you know what? You can also listen whenever and wherever you want if you subscribe to the podcast. It's free, and you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pocket Casts, however you get your podcasts. Go to ncpr.org/podcast to find details. Love that Story of the Day podcast. And if you're already listening that way, rock on. Great to have you there. We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Danny Thomas of Canton and Evan Veenstra of Gananoque, Ontario. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.